Hello, my name is Christopher Sands. I'm a senior fellow at the Hudson Institute, and I'm going to talk a little bit today about what the Vancouver Olympics tells us about border security. Earlier this week, I had the opportunity to visit the Vancouver Olympics for a review and briefing on border security measures taken to help strengthen the games and make sure that they were able to occur in a safe manner. What's striking about these Olympics is that with the huge effort made by federal, state, and local officials at the Blaine crossing between Washington State and British Columbia, there have been a remarkably few incidents and very low delays. According to the Pacific Northwest Economic Region, a regional group of governments, delay times at the border have been averaging only 5 minutes, much below the average for a busy weekend at that border crossing. People have been able to cross back and forth with reasonable assurance that long delays will not be a problem. Several measures have been undertaken, especially for these Olympics, that have helped out. One interesting experiment was the use of advanced passenger manifest for tour buses. So the tour bus operators gather all the information about their passengers, passport numbers, and other details, passing them on to border officials before the bus even approaches the crossing. Inspectors can then review the data, decide if there is anyone there that they particularly want to talk to, and then when the bus arrives, inspections can be quick and often very focused concerning individuals' status or any discrepancies in the information. This has allowed tour groups, particularly tour groups of foreign nationals, Japanese tourists, Chinese tourists who may have intended to visit both countries on this trip, have the opportunity, therefore, to be more quickly cleared at the border. We've also seen terrific cooperation between federal officials and local police, in this case the RCMP, the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, who've been working round the clock to try to provide good Olympic security, but plugging in very well with the Integrated Border Enforcement Team and the Integrated Maritime Enforcement Teams that have been set up around that area. IBETs and IMETs, the Integrated Border Enforcement Teams and Integrated Maritime Enforcement Teams, were set up some years ago to allow interagency cooperation between Canadian and American federal, state, provincial, and local police forces in the investigation of crimes or securing an area. A lot was learned in preparation for the Vancouver Olympics when Detroit hosted the Super Bowl just a few years ago. Canadian American officials in the Detroit-Windsor area were able to work together to secure that particular event and make sure that there was an easy ability to access across the border. Taken together, the Vancouver Olympics, the Detroit Super Bowl, tell us that when we get ourselves together, when we get organized and we have a big event that focuses everyone's attention, it is possible to have a very efficient, high level of security, but at the same time to have a free flow of legitimate persons crossing the border with a minimum of fuss and hassle. This special events preparation is good news, but it also shows us that we could do better every day. When the Olympics are over, we need to bring this same level of focus and concern to the border to make sure that it operates this well every day. What's the first step? To recognize, as so often we fail to recognize, that local, state, and provincial officials, law enforcement, and other agencies have a lot to bring to the table in the management of the border. Too often, the Department of Homeland Security and its Canadian counterpart focus on federal management of the border to the exclusion of local input. What makes these events so different is that these are opportunities where the whole community can come together, where people working for different agencies, all with the same purpose, to protect the safety of individuals, can do so in a way that doesn't harm our economy. And at a time when the economy is down and both governments, all governments, are focused on bringing jobs back to the North American economy, this special event level of preparedness is something we need to achieve every day. Thank you very much.